Peace and blessings. This is Mindbender, and you're now tuning in to this thing called life. Yeah.
Hello. This is your girl D.
And this is Key.
From this thing called life. Today we are going to talk about surviving COVID-19 and its lasting effects. And our special guest today is Decarlous Hill. If you've paid attention to the promos, you kind of seen pieces of his journey, which is yet on. So, Mr. Hill, if you don't mind, would you kind of introduce yourself to the people, and then we're gonna, kind of go on into your story, and then we're gonna at some point kind of interject and look at different symptoms that coronavirus patients have said that they have dealt with since
are still
dealing with as a result of being attacked by this virus. So if you would please introduce yourself, sir.
Okay, hello everyone. My name is Decarlous Hill. I am a 39-year-old male. I've been married for 15 years. We have 3 beautiful kids, Kiana, Elena, and DeQuavian. So what I want to start talking to everyone about is this thing called COVID-19. It is serious.
Mm-hmm.
I went to the doctor on 5/26. It started out with just a little small minor cough. So it's a couple of days went by. One of the kids that was staying with us, I had took him to the hospital that past weekend, and he was diagnosed with COVID-19 on that Monday. So that Tuesday morning, me, my wife, and kids, we got up and went and got tested. And so when I went to get tested, my temperature was at 103 degrees.
Ooh. Just out the gate.
Just out the gate. I felt horrible. So as the day went on, quarantined myself for 14 days. The second day, which was that Wednesday, I had to have an IV put in my arm. I had dehydrated so bad, I couldn't even sit out the bathroom. If I was using the bathroom or either I was throwing up, I had to have an IV bag. I want to send a special shout out to this young lady named Miss Nancy. She is a nurse practitioner. The day that I had to have an IV put in me, with her
Go
husband.
ahead.
And she came by and put an IV in my arm and gave the instructions to my wife to how to take it out once it emptied. She bought me cracker soup and Gatorade and water, so I want to give a special shout out to her. Throughout those 14 days, I had my ups and downs. I went through losing smell, losing taste, small cough, using the restroom, throwing up. I had problems with my upper GI system, which is your stomach and everything. To this day, I still have a little issues with that. I never lost. I never had problems with my breathing or anything, but I went back to the doctor on the 15th. I was released. So I was like, okay, good, So on the 16th, I went back to work. Well, let's fast forward this thing to a month later. 7/22, I'm at work. I work at Yokohama Tires in West Point, Mississippi. So I'm at work, and the left side of my stomach, it's feeling like a big bubble of air. I don't feel good at all. I texted my wife throughout the day, and I was like, I don't feel good at all. So during this time, we get off of work. I got off work at 3 o'clock that day, and I had a guy carpooling with me. So I asked him, I was like, man, look, I need you to drive me home. I don't feel good. So he drives himself home. So I had to drive myself to the house. So my wife calls me. She talks to him until I get to the house. When I get home, I didn't speak to her. I didn't speak to the kids. I went straight to my room. I just felt that bad. So at that time, my wife, she called my mother-in-law and told my mother-in-law to come get the kids because when we got tested, out of my household of 5, me, my son, and this other young man that was staying with us, we all tested positive for COVID. So you're talking about a house of 5, you got 3 people positive in the house. So the younger 2, which my son and the other young man, they really just didn't have anything but a little, like a little cold, and the other one had bronchitis. Other than that, they were fine. So my mother-in-law, she come and get the kids, and my wife, she takes me to Untitled County Hospital. When I get to the hospital, my temperature is again 103 degrees. I'm like, no, don't tell me COVID again. So they run tests on me, and the first day I go to Untitled County Hospital, they tell me the only thing they saw was blood in my urine. So we question about the blood in the urine, They really they don't know where it comes from or whatever. So they give me a shot and different other medications for that day. So that Thursday went by, I was fine because I'm already drugged up from the day before. So that Friday morning, I told my wife I need to go back to the hospital. I wasn't feeling well at all. I get up there. I'm screaming myself. I'm telling them the left side of my chest and my lower left arm is hurting. They ignored that part. So they ran another test on me. And the only thing they still told me was it was more blood in my urine. So this time they diagnosed me with a UTI. So they send me back home. This is Friday. So Friday night, maybe around 10 o'clock, I tell my wife I need to go back to the emergency room. We go back to OCH. So this is the 3rd time I've been to OCH. I get to OCH. They run tests on me. We tell them what was going on. And the doctor say, well, I see that your husband's complaining about his heart. And so at this time, we see this doctor named Dr. Maple. So they run to the back and do a test on me where they put this kind of dye in you or whatever. And so he come back to tell my wife that I see that your husband have inflammation around the heart. Okay. He could have had a heart attack or stroke or anything. So he say, we don't have heart doctors on standby at OCH, but Baptist does.
Yeah.
So they had to do a rapid COVID test on me that night. I had to test negative in order to go to Baptist. So when the rapid test came back, I did test negative for the COVID. So they took me by ambulance over to Baptist Hospital, which is in Columbus, Mississippi.
Halt for a second.
Yes, ma'am.
In order for them to take you,
you
had to have a negative COVID test in order to be admitted to the hospital to get treated for COVID.
Yes.
Correct.
Okay, I just want to make sure I heard you right.
Yeah.
So I got to Baptist about 5 a.m., which would be Saturday morning. About 10 a.m. that morning, they came and took me to the back, and they did a test called an echograph on me, right?
Yeah.
And once I woke up, because they had me dosed up or whatever, I woke up, and they told me I had this thing called myocarditis. It's the inflammation of the heart. Well, the doctor got to talking to me and telling me everything. He say, your heart functioning is at 20 to 25%. Now, let me remind you, out of 39 years, I never had issues with my heart. I never had heart problem. If anything, something like a small cold, the only thing I really got or whatever. But I never had just any medical history. So with them telling me that, I was in ICU from that early Saturday morning to like that Tuesday morning, Tuesday or Wednesday morning. So while I was in ICU, being that COVID is real, I couldn't have any company. I couldn't have any visitors. So I was there by myself. That Friday night, I had left my cell phone at home because I'm thinking I'm going to the hospital and then I'm coming back home. Well, that changed.
No.
So I had called my wife from the hospital phone and told her to bring me some changing clothes and my cell phone so I can talk to some of my friends or whatever and tell them where I was located at. I'm saying, keep my job posted. So throughout that time, I was in the hospital for a whole week. So from like that Tuesday, so that Wednesday, I think they put me in a regular room. So I was able to have company, but only one company. So, being I'm married, my wife came.
For sure.
Right. So, I was happy to have her there with me. You know what I'm saying? So before I go home on that Friday, the lady that deals with they had to put me in a life vest, which it was, to me, that life vest for 3 months was it was a good thing, but also it was a bad thing to me because go ahead.
I was going to say, before you go into that part, tell people what an actual life vest is, because a lot of people don't know.
Okay, a life vest is really a outside defibrillator. Really, what it does is so like if you get real excited or whatever, and your heart, something about the muscles pumping and everything, it will actually shock you and knock you out, and you will have to have someone to take you to the emergency room. So what happened to me was actually one Friday night I was at a football game. And I kind of got excited and I felt it kind of hit me. But at the same time, you can stop it if you don't need the treatment. So I stopped it because I didn't need the treatment. You know what I'm saying? So it really helps you in the long run, if you have to wear it. It has 3 sensors on it, and it has, I guess what they call the things, I guess it's a defibrillator, really. And so you have to wear it on the inside of your clothing. So the only time I took it off was when I took a shower, and it'll start beeping, basically telling you, hey, come on, put this vest on your body, It'll beep in your sleep if the sensors is not on, or if the belt is not on the belt right, if the belt is not fastened right. So those was like the only kind of like bad parts that I hate. You sleep and the sensor roll up and it's not on your body and it goes off and you trying to fix it in your sleep, It's kind of, hectic waking up doing that. So I wore that for 3 months. Then they assigned me cardio rehab for, I think it's 36 sessions. So I go to cardio rehab Monday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays for an hour. I do 15 minutes on the treadmill, 15 minutes on the exercise bike. I do 6 minutes on the treadmill, not treadmill, on the stair stepper. And I do 10 minutes like on the arm exercise. Yeah, like that. Yeah. So that's going pretty good with me so far. I went back to the doctor on the 26th of this month, last month. And they did another echo on me. On the 27th, I went to my heart doctor. The doctors came in. He said, okay, Mr. Hill, your heart has not fully recovered yet. But remember, I was at 20 to 25 when it first happened. So right now I'm at 35 to 40. So my heart has improved some, but the doctor really wants me at like 55 to 60%.
And so where are you now?
I'm at 35 to 40%.
Okay, so the rehab is actually helping to strengthen your heart muscles. And what about the inflammation? Is it going down at all?
Well, I, the doctor really didn't explain that part to me, but he was saying that the functioning of it is strengthening, is getting better. He took the life vest off of me on the 27th, so that was a plus. So I don't have a life vest on me anymore, and I just go by my everyday life. When I came home, they put me on a diet, so I can't have like no sodium and everything on my. So I'm like on a no sodium diet. I take I think about 8 different pills I take every morning. Now I have to check my blood pressure daily to make sure I'm doing pretty good. So that's just part of my life now.
Well, I remember some of that journey when you're talking about the cardiac rehab. That's how I know what you were trying to say, because I went through that same process, over there. Is it in the annex? Are you over at the annex over from OCH?
No, actually, I do everything that I do is in Columbus at Baptist
Okay, so
Hospital.
you're over there at Baptist now. Okay, because
Yes,
I was
ma'am.
about to say both of them, they have basically the same setup where you have so much that you have to do to strengthen. But I was really just kind of wondering what I see. I'm glad to know that your heart function is getting better, but I was just kind of concerned about some of that inflammation that they
That
said
that
had.
was
Yeah,
around the heart.
yeah. So was that fluid, or was that the actual heart muscle
It
and
was
heart?
actually the heart muscle. They didn't see any blockage or anything around it, and they come to find out I haven't had a heart attack or a stroke. So that was
That's
a
a
plus.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So what are some of the things that were paramount for you to kind of get beyond the positive diagnosis to a negative? I know you mentioned hydration for one. Uh,
Um,
you
Go
said
ahead.
that they modified your diet,
Right. So
but I'm sorry.
that's something I had to get used to. Like as a man, you used to doing things around the house, cutting grass, moving things, different things like that. For me, I couldn't do none of that. I still can't do any of that. I'm off of work, so my everyday routine is Monday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. I get up go to rehab, come back home, and just like basically watch TV, make sure the kids go to school. Try to keep myself occupied around the house. That's something that I'm having to get used to, being that I'm used to working and doing other things.
Yeah. So basically you went from being active to doing nothing,
Nothing.
but trying to get better.
That's
Yes.
it.
Now,
That's
That's
how?
your
it.
job right now is to get
Yeah,
better.
right. That is your
Yes.
full-time gig.
Right.
That's your full. Now, what about your son and his little friend? How are they? Have they gotten their
Oh yeah,
negative?
they're like I said, my son only had like a minor cold. And after that, that was it. He was back to himself. The young man, he only had like bronchitis, and he's back to himself. So I mean, other than that, I think it's basically younger kids can fight it off better than older people, or older people than their age range is. And like I said, I had it the worst. I wish it on no one. And it's real because when I came home, my mom came over. And she saw that it was a baseball player had myocarditis, where not just me had it. Weeks after that, we looked at college football. College football players have myocarditis, so it does different people different ways.
Okay, now we've got some comments from Facebook. Want to first start out with saying hello to everyone: Beatrice, Annette, Bender, Willy Wonka, TJ. Well, they all say, good evening. TJ taught some lows. Good to see you, bruh. Hey, T. My phone is going to overload from all this. Oh, you are just, you know what? Forever you your daddy's son, boy. It's
Sure
like,
is.
yes, it's like Annette says, what a journey. She's, as she was listening to what you said, but she also has a question on the table for you. And
Okay.
she's asking, Mr. Hill, do you think you would have found out about your condition if you had not contracted COVID?
Well, let me explain that to her. The myocarditis was part of COVID. That when I had COVID, that gave me that infection, that myocarditis. I never, like I explained earlier, I never had any heart condition at all. So I'm thinking that I have recovered all the way. I was released from the doctor, and when I got sick again, that's when I found out that COVID had messed my heart up like that. That's
Right.
what the doctors are saying.
Right.
Okay.
And that was so we have an article and it talks about 98 symptoms of corona, or really I guess it's kind of post-COVID, some things that people have gone through post-COVID.
I'm gonna share it on the screen.
And one of them talks about fluid around the heart, inflammation of the heart,
Right.
and you arrhythmia and myocarditis, and all these different things that are symptoms, not just of, okay, there were things that were already going on, but they are actual symptoms of having had coronavirus.
Okay, yeah, I just put it on the screen. I don't know if everyone can see it yet, but it is talking about the 98 symptoms.
Yeah.
The bilateral neck throbbing around the lymph nodes.
Yeah.
The elevated thyroid, which is something that, people may not recognize because the thyroid has some crazy symptoms by themselves.
Boy.
It will actually trigger quite a few of the concerns. Anemia,
which is what I'm actually kind of going through because I'm not a meat eater, but you're
Okay.
like not. Go ahead.
Yes, I meant to.
Hello?
Now that you mentioned anemia, the doctor had said I was anemia a little bit, but other than that, I recovered from that part. But yeah, it's just crazy.
Okay.
yeah.
So I know that I'm going through the anemia portion. Then there's this one.
Yeah, we go ease on down the road with that.
And then the GERD and the excessive salivation. She's like, we're going to ease on down the road. So, and these, so GERD, acid reflux, heartburn, because they show up later, even all of this. One of the things that it wasn't something that you were used to.
Woo, that acid reflux.
Right.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Acid
I'm like,
reflux.
I have no idea why my chest is burning. I have no idea why. And I'm thinking it's gas. And I'm like, but I'm not gassy. I haven't eaten anything to be gassy. But it was like all of this was just on fire.
But that is, a post-COVID symptom.
Now that we know. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I have, when I was in the hospital, I had gas real bad. Right now, I think I take maybe 4 or 5 different gas medicines a day. It was just that bad. Like I ate a piece of granola and a little yogurt, and I had trapped gas for the longest, and that's the worst feeling you can ever have.
What? Yes, it is. Now, this one, well, people that know me might say that this may not be COVID related. They just might say, it's just is.
But no, I will say, because this one says personality change and it says drastic. And later on, it talks about irritability. Yeah, it talks about the personality change. It talks about irritability, anxiety, memory issue, lack of focus, and fatigue. All of those are, they come along a lot later. But whereas, you'd be like, that didn't have nothing to do with COVID. I think that your anxiety.
Yeah, because I am a lot more anxious now.
Yeah,
than I was.
Irritable.
Yeah. Hey.
I'm just saying. I offer you drinks a lot more often. I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
Look, yeah, that's true. But thrush, now this is one that I kind of want to hit because I've had to start using the inhaler.
Yeah.
They gave the doctor that I kept having, felt like the pressure in my chest. So when I went to the cardiologist, he sent me to the pulmonologist. And as a result of that, then it was just like, okay, and that was one of the things the pulmonologist hit on.
The
thrush.
Yeah.
Yeah. So hormone imbalances.
Ooh.
Now, if you are already going through the change.
Listen, Linda, listen. Let me tell you something. Don't come up in this house or have us in public anywhere because the two of us.
Yeah, we're gonna eat these on down the road.
Right, like I'm sipping on my water.
Yeah, now he just mentioned the UTI portion of it.
Right. Now they talk about, again, later on in this, the blood in the urine. So it's the next one, the kidney issue urine, but also not just the protein, but the blood in your urine as being post-COVID. So are we hitting on a few of your
Yes.
a few of the things you're going through there, Mr.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now this one is one that I found to be very interesting. The dry scalp or the dandruff. Now you would never really have any issues with, but you remember you as of late, over the last few months, since you were sick, you started saying how dry and brittle and how much you had to, seem like saturate your scalp a lot more and wash your scalp a lot more. And
it's funny because my hair has always been, I've always had a very oily scalp.
Right.
Like as you see me digging in my head now.
Right.
I've always had a very oily scalp. So I've never really had issues with the dry scalp or dandruff or things of that nature. And I find myself like packing oil into my scalp now.
And it sucks it up.
Scratching. And it does. It sucks it up. It really, like right now, like I oiled my hair the day before yesterday. Now before, if I had oiled my hair the day before yesterday, first of all, if I had oiled my hair, my hair would have been like, what are you doing? Right. But if I had oiled my hair the day before yesterday, it would still be, quite, quite
shiny.
Right. This stuff is dry. I could set something on fire right now. It's just like for real.
Now it's right here. Blood pressure. We often talk about high blood pressure, but low blood pressure.
My blood pressure was low.
It'll do both. It does both. It says there are low blood pressures, or it can make it spike. But they said that that's generally one of the, it's really the spikes are, I guess, according to this particular article, are more so immediately afterwards. So when your body is trying to heal and then it talks about the spikes in your blood pressure. One of the other ones that I experienced, because I never really had sugar issues.
Right.
Like I'm not diabetic, so I've never had sugar issues. However, my blood sugar bottom out on me real quick, whether I'm eating something or not. It will bottom out. And I'll be like, wait, hold up.
And that explains a lot of what you've been dealing with physically as well. Now the next one, COVID toes.
I don't know so much. They say it's like a rash, or like on here, it's like a reddening around the tops of the toes.
It's almost like it kind of looks like psoriasis, but it's not quite psoriasis or eczema looking. Eye or in lifestyle or action.
Can I say something about the toes part?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so once I was released from the hospital,
Go ahead.
I came home and I was having a problem out of my feet. Like the nerves of my feet was like so irritating. Like I had to use ice packs on it. I couldn't put socks on. I couldn't put shoes on. It hurted so bad. Like I literally wanted to cut them off. Like they just how bad they hurt it.
Neuropathy.
That's it. And so they end up
Wow.
giving
That's
me
one of the little first
some, I forgot the name of the pill. They gave me a pill and it helped their problem. I mean, it went from me using something like icy hot to other stuff put on my feet to try to keep them calm. It hurt just that bad.
Was it Lyrica?
No man, it wasn't Lyrica. I want to say it started with a P.
Okay.
I can't remember the name of it, but I took it.
And
Ma'am.
again, no, I was saying I was agreeing with you because later on down the list it talks about neuropathy. It's
Okay.
basically what that's called.
Right.
And it's so neuropathy, that's actually on this list of it.
It's a very extensive list. Okay, talks about the eye or infection. Foot pain. There we go. That's what you were just hitting on.
Yes.
He's a
what, the lump in the throat?
No, he's talking about the pain.
Foot pain.
Yeah.
Foot
pain. Yes.
Who got the goiter or the lump in the throat? Or dry lips. That's where that hydration comes in. Hydrate.
I can't tell you how much lip gloss and oh my God, I was just saying, what is going here? I've gone through kinds of lip gloss, I don't have to have lip scrubs and everything else. It was so hard. Like at the beginning of the year, it was awful. I didn't know what was going on. I'm glad to know now, but I was just like, oh my God, please don't look at my mouth. I was wearing a lot of lipstick then because it was like, it kind of covered it up a little bit.
Okay, cold burns in the lungs. Now that was kind of where I was.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like, okay, something is just not quite hitting just right. Blood oxygen. Most of that has been, a lot of times that's revealed when they're, in the hospital.
Yeah. Her lips is not only chapped, but they turn blue.
Right. Arrhythmia.
That's when we're talking about the heart.
The arrhythmia. Jaw pain. Now, I get a lot of that. I get a lot of that. I get a lot of neck pain that they talk about. Now, painful scalp is different than the dry scalp.
Yes.
Burning sensations. The tingling or the burning sensation or the fizzing sensation.
Pins and needles.
Yeah.
The pins and needles, yeah.
Mid-back at the base of the ribs. Mid-back pain at the base of the ribs.
Huh. I didn't think about that being from the back.
Think about every friggin' thing that I have been dealing with since I got sick.
Yeah.
Now, some things were because of, the accident. I hadn't been having any issues really. But then since I got sick, it's like everything has been compounded on top of each other. It's just like, okay, can't get enough of this. Okay. Abnormally low temperature, instead of having bulging veins. A lot of people, I'm trying to think of what is the other term that they use for that.
Decarlous.
Yeah.
People who've never had issues and who've never had pain are now.
Yeah. Hand or wrist pain, these are just, like I said, we're just going through the list of things, not saying that all of these are
everybody,
right, but these are things that and the actual site is eatthis.com COVID-19-signs. So if you want to, look it up and just read for yourself, but it talks about the spike in the kidney pain, brain pressure.
Oh, yeah. Some of those headaches that may not necessarily be headaches.
Right.
So because I know that might sound a little strange. I have headaches, and majority of them are migraine headaches. But migraine headaches or I'm a human barometer. The weather changes, and I have headaches. But there have been headaches where it's just been like, well, what hurts? I don't know.
But my head hurts.
My head hurts. Yeah. I can't tell you why, but it hurts.
Swollen lymph nodes, extreme pressure at the base or the
occipital nerve.
And that's exactly where I have to put pressure in order to get relief, because I'm not able to turn my head. I'm not able to, people that see me in church and they'll, and I have to turn my whole body, or not just in church, but just even around the house at times. It's like that has, I was dealing with a lot of these things, but it seems like now I have to deal with them more.
Right.
The feeling of burning skin. Nope, don't have that. Thank you, goodness. That's one thing I know. Bone aches in the extremities.
Yeah.
And look at where they're pointing.
Same place we're pointing? Okay.
Phantom smells.
I smell everything anyway, so I never know if it's phantom or if it's legit something. So I can't give that one credence.
A hot blood rush, like
hot flash.
Yeah. Chills, but no fever.
Michelle was talking about that.
Yeah, that happens too.
Have any?
Yeah, so but neck muscle pain, mouth sores, or sore tongue. That's interesting. Heat tolerance. Being too hot, I guess, said is a fever. The body may need time after time to recover and regulate its temperature. Okay, so that kind of means like one of those deals, like when I always say how G is, we talk about how the warm body, it's like, get away from me.
Definitely.
Just stay away. Just get away. Stay away. Swollen hands or feet.
Yeah.
Dry or peeling skin, and that goes back to not enough hydration as well, because you can moisturize all day long, but you still have to hydrate your body.
Right. Well, but I mean, like the psoriasis, the psoriasis that I've never on my leg, but I'm bad about water.
Right. The dry post-nasal drip, and then with this being allergy and flu season, a lot of things look one way.
Yeah.
But they are actually
leftovers.
So and the person just may be having mild symptoms, and may not just be full blown, they may have a positive diagnosis, but they have very, very mild symptoms.
Yes.
So you can't necessarily go based on situations like mine where you're in the bed to the point that you really don't even know you're in the world. So we got extreme weight
gain.
Yeah, feeling irritable.
Yeah, we talked about that.
Muscle twitching. Fusion. Now, I definitely, straight way out of it, because I'm just now really kind of getting back to the point where I have some sense of, I know good and well. Oh, I was about to be real upset if I had to
scratch your lens.
I thought I had a scratch that was half the width of my lens. I've honestly, Beats has been my best friend.
Yes.
When it comes down to the confusion, the focus, the maintaining the memory, and stuff like that. We've got sharper, sudden chest pain.
Mhm.
That's what you were dealing with, Carlos.
Mm-hmm.
The sharp or sudden chest pain, where you said it felt like you were having, the heart attack type symptoms. It's the change sense of taste. Like I got mad when my coffee didn't right.
Certain ice creams still don't taste right.
You said that happened with you as well?
Yes. While I was in the hospital, Coca-Cola, Sprite, juice, different juices tasted nasty. So from that day to now, I have not had a Coca-Cola or a Sprite.
Oh.
So,
That's
yeah.
I don't think we can survive without Sprite in this house.
Right. Sprite, ginger ale.
Sprite and ginger ale.
Yeah.
We can really.
Tinnitus or humming in the ears. Okay. Nerve sensations.
Everywhere.
You're right. Constant thirst. So that would be the extreme opposite of not being hydrated enough. It's like, okay, that's all I want. Drink.
That's where I am now. I'm always walking around with 5,000 cups.
Okay, now you were talking about rashes. You know someone that's dealt with that, Carlos?
No, ma'am.
Oh, okay. Floaters or flashes of light in vision.
I get those with my migraines. Like those are my migraine triggers. Those are like, hey, you got about 30 minutes to get somewhere. So I wouldn't know if that's
upper back pain. That's interesting. Sleeping more than normal.
Why would upper back pain? Why would you? For coughing. Okay. Sleeping more than normal.
Tremors or shakiness. Calf, dry eyes, ears. Let's see. Nausea, vomiting, shortness of breath or exhaustion from bending over. Part of that for me is just I'm fat now. Lower back pain.
You know what?
Abdominal pain. Look, I just tell it like it is. It is what it is, darling. Abdominal pain. That was where I was thinking I was having all that gas, but it wasn't really gas. Phlegm in the back of the throat. And with this being allergy season, people need to make sure that they check to make sure that it's not sinuses draining. Partial or complete loss of the sense of taste. We kind of hit that. Just changing symptoms, just all kinds of stuff going on. The reflux or heartburn. That I don't even want to think about that right now.
Yeah.
I've been some days. What was the other one? Yeah, we're talking about the neuropathy. In the beating hands.
Ooh.
Sadness. So you're talking about with the depression, because everybody is already on pins and needles because of COVID with the extreme, and then being on lockdown all year basically, and just all of that. So check on your people. I'll just say it like that. Check on your people, because you never know what's for real going on. Check on your people. Congested or runny nose. Like I said, it's cold and flu season, so every cough is not unto Rona. But if things are going on and you just cannot get a grip on them, you may want to go get tested, because you may be having mild symptoms. Blurry vision. Now, as crazy as it sounds, that's how I knew I was having a stroke. My vision would not clear up.
Yeah, I remember you saying that.
That's how, and I just went on to the hospital. But this was before COVID. But like I said, all these symptoms are not necessarily coronavirus based, but they are enough people have experienced them
Mhm.
for people, because see, with everything going on with these blood clots and all that stuff, that can trigger
Everything else.
everything else.
Mhm.
So hair loss.
Yeah, that one. That
Yeah.
was a
Yeah.
rotten
Fever
one.
or chills,
Right.
tachycardia, where you just or complete loss of night sweats. I just had night, day, all the time sweats. Sore throat, diarrhea, heart palpitations, joint pain, cough, persistent chest pain or pressure. That was what was part of his trigger.
Right.
Dizziness, memory problems. And I'm still recouping, like I said, trying to get things back on track with that. Anxiety, difficulty sleeping. So if you're dealing with insomnia more than, and you've never really had insomnia issues, then you
They're heightened.
heightened. Yeah. Yeah.
They're more than they have been before.
Right. Headaches. Then inability to exercise or be active, where all you want to do is, like it was saying earlier, just stay in the bed and sleep. Is it depression or is it COVID related? Check on your people.
But even if it's
Check
depression,
on,
it could
right,
be COVID-related.
still check on your people. Difficulty concentrating or focusing. Beets have been my best friend. I will keep saying it. Beets, ginseng shots, and white tea. Those have been my best friends.
I probably need to.
Beets,
I can't do
ginseng
beets.
shots. Now I'm talking about for D.
I know.
For D. Shortness of breath or difficulty breathing.
Yeah.
Hence my inhaler. Or body aches, which tends to be a trigger. Now, out of all of these, let me stop the screen share. Out of all of these that we have just gone through, that's a list of 98 things. We are looking at a lot of them, which are, like I said, they can be symptoms from other things in addition to, whatever it is that people have had to endure or go through, or okay, Kimberly was saying, okay, she was talking about she had the Lyrica
and the neuropathy.
And the neuropathy, yeah. So you're talking about that's gas. And you know what, Theophilus Joshua, about some fatness. He's a mess.
Fatness is sexiness now.
That is a daddy's son.
Right. It's cold out here. Ain't nobody got time for catching frostbite with skinny folks. You know what? Get to just yeah. That's my brother, y'all. Love him. With his silly self. Wouldn't look, kill a brick and choke a stick over that little fella. That's bigger than me now. Right. So, but Mr. Carlos, as we have gone through that list, I was, just remembering a lot of what you were saying. Now, as far as your symptoms now, as you're going through rehab, what are some of the things that you're dealing with now that you weren't dealing with prior to your diagnosis?
Not real bad, but I have a little shortness of breath every now and then. I catch myself with that. Other than that, that's really it. And one thing I want to say is, if you do catch COVID, just make sure you have a strong support system behind you. My wife, she's been there every step of the way. I don't know where I'd be without her, going through this. Your family, you know, if it ain't nothing but, if your neighbor said, do y'all need anything over there? Gatorade, water, anything, you know what I'm saying? That goes a long way. And like I said, my wife, man, like, I don't know where I'd be. She makes them at every appointment. She She makes sure I'm on this blood pressure medicine. She makes sure I take my medicine. She makes sure I have some of my system. I mean, you know, she's just that person for me, you know.
Shout out
So
to the Mrs. Shout out
yes,
to the Mrs. for taking
yes.
care of her boo thing.
Yeah,
I'm not mad at her.
at
Look,
all.
I'm mad at her because you know it is like you said, it is paramount to have a good support system around you. And it kind of leaves me heartbroken for people who are in these hospitals that can't have access to their loved ones, or their loved ones can't have access
To
to
them.
them.
Mhm.
Yes.
You know? And you know, you got the phone, but it's not quite the same
Right.
as being able to actually have them hold that hand, or to have them, you know, just say that you know, just
Ooh, Lord,
tell
you
you
don't
that
come
it's
from
gonna be
our
okay.
home.
I'm not saying how you just go you see TJ just to put the shout at your wife's whole government name out there.
Tell TJ go to sleep.
He sound
TJ,
like one of us.
go to sleep. But you know, I'm with him though. Go ahead, you know. And is there anything as it relates to, as we get ready to kind of get close to, you know, summing things up, is there anything that you would say to anyone as it relates to precautions, you know, that you would recommend that people take, especially when they go out and around, you know, others, or even allowing individuals into your own personal space? Is there anything that you would like to share with our listeners?
I mean, pretty much what everyone is saying. Stay 6 feet apart. Make sure you do the proper washing. As for me, when I go out into space, or even to a function, just like this past weekend, I wear my mask regardless where I'm at. And instead I shake hands, I bump their fists. You know, I make sure I keep Germ-X on me. So I pretty much hear whatever everyone else is telling you, and just be
Okay.
safe.
See, you good because you do the fist bump. I do that old school kid and play, you know, that double
With the foot.
foot.
Okay.
Yeah, go do that double tap of the foot, or make do that quick elbow bumper.
Elbow. Right.
Yeah. But yeah, at our church, that people know when they come to a D, it's called, let's go and do that quick foot tap, that double tap. That's what that kid play, you know. So but yeah, I concur. The people in this house are pretty much like that as well. It's like mask up, give me
Better
my
get
6
back.
feet.
Get
Right.
back.
Mask up, give me my 6 feet. I'm not playing with you.
That child wanted a 6-foot fishing pole just so she could walk around and tell people they saw
Wow.
her.
Talking about her daughter. Yes,
Wow.
about her daughter, talking about she wanted a 6-foot fishing pole. Yes.
Just so she could tell people you too close. You too close.
My 6 feet. But yeah, we really appreciate, and I'm honestly thankful to you for being willing to share your journey, because you have, I mean, I went through 50 pounds of ooh-wee, and the things that I'm dealing with as a result of what I went through still make me look like I had the common cold. Now, our experiences in the midst of COVID, mine were a little bit more serious at that time.
Right.
But when you start talking about the you know, the situation with your heart and all of that kind of stuff, now I believe honestly, my saving grace was because I have a mechanical heart valve.
Okay. And see, that was an option. So when I went back to the doctor, if my heart hadn't improved, they were gonna go ahead and put a defibrillator in. So being that it had improved, they went on and took the vest off and gonna play it by ear. I guess that's how you want to talk about it.
Well, I'm glad to hear that you improved enough for them to take the vest off.
Yeah.
because that's not always the case. But I want to say, sis, is there anything that you would like to say to Mr. Carlos?
Thank you for sharing your story. Thank you for the awareness.
Yes.
We believe in educating and empowering people. We need you to know that, and there are people who are just like, oh, it's not real, it's not real, it's not real. Well, you looking at 3 people right here who can tell you it's real.
Yes, it is.
The after effects, it's real. And it's not just something you go through and then it's a done deal. It's real. There are lingering effects. There are some things that were on this list that, have gotten me thinking, wow, I hadn't thought about it that way. And maybe that is what's going on, as far as this, that, and the third. So I personally just want to say, again, thank you for sharing your story. Thank you for sharing your testimony, because it's a testimony that you're still here.
Yes, ma'am.
So thank you for your testimony, but also being able to just enlighten and share with everyone. And like I said, just bringing some more awareness, because
and for those and for those who have not, we're just going to ask you if you would, like and share, because the information that's been shared on this particular show is something that needs to be known, needs to be heard, and needs to be shared.
Absolutely.
Because it just is. People need to know. People just simply need to know.
They do.
And on and as far as next week is concerned, we're really excited about next week's show. October was clergy appreciation, not awareness, clergy appreciation month, but it was also mental health awareness month. And so what we're doing is we have 2 powerhouses coming together with us next week. We have Bishop Scott Volland out of Columbus, the pastor of the Bridge. He is not only a pastor, but his initial studies was in psychology and counseling. And then we're going to have my pastor, Dr. Melvin Woodard, who will be joining us as we talk about ministers, ministry, and mental health. So next week is going to be another power-packed show full of information and knowledge, for the people. And we look forward to you being a part of that with us as well. Thank you, Carlos, for
You're so welcome.
Giving us your time. Tell the Mrs. we said thank you for sharing her boo thing with us for an hour. So thank you so much. And you all definitely be blessed. Okay, Carlos, I want you to hold on for just a moment for us, okay, if you would. Thank you.
Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to get through this thing called life.